And we're live right here for the NBA pre-lock core props for profit value FFVP. It's Tony, it's Nick, it's Jigsaw, it's Ghost. You know the deal. Already people checking in as always. We got Ivan already hooking up the FVV wagon. I love it. Last night, almost a huge night, Ghost. We almost had a huge night. We were both like +5 off. And I'll tell you what, it's funny. I was watching that Sixers game. Matisse, I'm telling you, I need a stat correction because he had 2 steals, damn it. They only gave him 1. I was watching. I was actually jumping up and down, thought I hit my bet, and they didn't give it to him. They gave it to Drummond instead, which I'm calling grand larceny right there. 0.5 away from 21.5 from McCollum. You were 0.5 away from Giddey and Dort. Man, last night was a good night, though.
It was a really good night. And we were talking about before we got on there. I was like, man, you know what? I'm not gonna get too disappointed about it because I already had a huge night. But if those Giddey and Dort props would have cashed, that would have been just the cherry on top. But Lou Dort 20+ came up 1 bucket short, finished at 18, and then Josh Giddey 16.5 rebounds and assists, finished right at 16, 1 dime or 1 rebound away. So you know what? I had a big night regardless. So I'll take it and run. But it could have just been the cherry on top. Both those were at +120 too.
Yeah, let's hope we have enough because on top of that, Ghost snuck in on me with the FFVP. Wow, I'm getting tongue tied on my own tongue, right? You snuck in with the FFVP last night with the Isaiah Jackson pick, who went absolutely nuts. We both nailed 2 guys in our core. Christian Wood, Andre Drummond was the top center, the top power forward on the slate, and then we each had 3 of the top 5 shooting guards and 2 of the top 5 point guards. I mean, come on, man. Like, we can brag now, okay? There's going to be nights we suck. I get it. It happens. But, God damn it, dude. We've been pretty damn consistent, brother.
Yeah, that was a really good night. Really, when it comes, like, especially the center position for me, that's always my Achilles heel. It's always one that, especially for those that play on FanDuel, like I keep on saying it for anybody that plays on FanDuel, center, it often makes or breaks your lineup. You can only roster 1. And there are so many power forwards that are eligible at center on top of that. And it's the absolute key to your lineup. And oftentimes when I look and I have a good night and I could have had a great night, it's often that center position. But yesterday it worked out really well. So I was
really good. And listen, I mean, you named it. You said Drummond was going to be chalk because he was going to be played 95% of everybody, right? Because he was such a low value. But again, it's very different, right? Like guys like you take Isaiah Jackson. Not many people had Christian Wood in their core. It just certain times you just look at certain plays and you feel a different way. It actually worked out. So let's talk about tonight right off the bat. We got the Brooklyn Suns matchup, which I absolutely love. Harden comes back. He misses only a day. I don't really know what to read into that much. Kyrie, I asked the question, is it Kyrie or is it Book? And I'm not saying either of those guys have to be in your core, but just from a DFS standpoint, Ghost, which guy would you ride more tonight? Would you ride Kyrie or would you ride Devin Booker?
For me, it's going to be, I know you're a Devin Booker guy, so I'm curious to see where you land. Because we don't talk before the show. And I'm pretty sure you guys can notice that too. Because we always get, like real funny in terms of reactions to one another sometimes. So it's going to be a good one. But I'm siding with Kyrie on this one, right? So James Harden has a banged up hand and he felt good at morning shoot around tonight, but that's going to be a lot of facilitating tonight for James Harden. It's going to be a lot of rebounding, a lot of facilitating. Somebody's got to keep up with the Phoenix Suns, man. And that's going to be Kyrie Irving. And when you're looking at his splits in this rotation, the way that they're offsetting both him and Harden, he's going to have a very favorable matchup where there's going to be a 6 to 7 minute stretch in both the first half and the second half where it's going to be Kyrie versus Book. And that's going to be one that I definitely want a piece of. And right now I'm siding with Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets.
I agree, man. Even though I'm a Book guy, I'm all Kyrie'd up. He's in my core tonight, man. I love me some Kyrie for exactly what you just said. You know that he's going to have to lead the wagon. No matter what, we've seen this with James Harden. You said the perfect word. He's going to be the master facilitator tonight. And I 100% agree. I love me some Kyrie. Ivan's already saying it feels like an FVB night tonight. Theo, what's up, my man? Came here to win. Well, we all want to win some money, right? And Ivan, I agree with you. Seth killed me last night. kill me, man. Like he just but again, he closed out the game. So from an actual basketball standpoint,
Yeah, he played really well.
Right? I do like, and I'll tell you what, Ghost. I know this is not a DFS guy, but Tyrese Maxey, that kid. Let me just tell you something. I was like so excited to watch this kid. I've never seen a guy split defenders on the Sixers since AI. I mean, he's obviously not going to be Allen Iverson, but just his heart and his passion, dude. That dude's just relentless, man. What a building block it's going to be with Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, absolutely. And like whenever I watch 76ers games, which is pretty often because on the East Coast, they end up starting at 7 and they have a ton of matchups against the Toronto Raptors too, which is obviously always on TV here north of the border. So whenever I watch Tyrese Maxey, man, I say the same thing to myself every time. His lateral quickness is so underrated in his game. Like obviously he's got a long way to go to become that true point guard, but at such a young age to show the scoring touch that he's been showing this season, and his passing has gotten better over the season has gone, which is pretty crazy considering that Joel Embiid runs a ton of isolation plays because it's Joel Embiid and that's just what he does, and he can do it on his own. But the way that he's finding, guys like Tobias Harris on the wing and finding Seth in the corners, and just his passing has gotten so much better, and his lateral quickness on his drive is so fun to watch.
It is. And the one thing I say about Tyrese is, but going to the games, and I mentioned this before, he's a true student of the game. He wants to learn. Okay. He wants to understand. And they have a guy named Sam Cassell, a coach on that team, that's just been in his ear consistently. I got a season ticket package, and I'll tell you what, I sit across from the Sixers bench, and every single timeout, Sam Cassell is coaching up Tyrese Maxey, and he's listening and he's learning. That kid's something special, man. He is. So it's really, really joy to watch. Keith, I'm glad you said this, man, because my man Ghost did nail Desmond Bane last night. I was watching Bane going, man, Ghost was talking him up. He was raining threes last night, Ghost.
I can't say enough about Desmond Bane's game, and we're gonna be on here for like 6 hours if I get into talking about Desmond Bane. But just, man, it's so fun to watch the Memphis Grizzlies and to see what Desmond Bane's been doing this season. I get it. Everyone's talking about Ja, and rightfully so. Everybody should be talking about Ja, but just wait to see what the Grizzlies look like when Desmond Bane has been playing the way that he's been playing, and they get a fully healthy Dillon Brooks back into this lineup. It's going to be a scary sight to see this Memphis Grizzlies team in the playoffs. So I love me some Desmond Bane in DFS. I would take him on my roster any day of the week and twice on Sunday. And last night was just one of those nights. He had a really great game. Shot unbelievably well from behind the arc.
He's a big boy too, man. I mean, he is strong, upper body and everything.
He's tough on defense, man. You can't really drive past him. You gotta beat him on a face-up shot, because if you're looking to the hoop and you manage to even get around him, Steven Adams is waiting there for you too. So it's just doesn't really work out when you're playing this Memphis Grizzlies defense.
It's funny, and I know this is a really far off comparison, and I'm just going by build. I have not seen a player built that stocky and that tough since Vinny Johnson. Like I'm thinking a microwave the whole time this dude's running off the floor, thinking this dude's he's gonna barrel over cats, man. Like I can't believe it. That Memphis team is so fun to watch. You're absolutely right. I love Ja. I love the toughness of Steven Adams. Bane's just raining from the outside. They're going to be a really good force in years to come. I absolutely love it. So let's get the cores like we always do. Let's talk cores. And last night, both of us had some really good ones. CJ was big for me. Christian Wood was big for me. And obviously, again, everybody builds a little differently. So tonight, I talked about, I still think that the Joker is going to be the top guy when we talk about big men on the slate. I think it's a no-brainer. Talked about the Kyrie movement, right? The Kyrie movement. And let's talk about Jordan Poole, because everybody is out for Golden State. Curry's out, Clay's out, right? So somebody's going to be running point. And I know Gary Payton II's out there. I'm going to get to him shortly, but I love me some Jordan Poole. When Kyrie doesn't play, when Clay's not live, Jordan Poole just takes over. I love this kid. And let me ask you this, Ghost, because Gary Trent Jr., I'm riding the Trent Jr. train. Until he gets to 6,000 on DK, I'm going to continue to ride him out. He has been consistent as anybody, man. What has changed with Gary Trent Jr.?
It's just finding his shot. And like it's just when he's the kind of guy that when he ends up getting into this rhythm, it's very hard for him to fall out of it, right? So very similar matchup to the one that they just played a couple days ago in that triple OT thriller win for the Raptors there against Miami Heat, and they're right back at it tonight. So the thing that's huge about Gary Trent is that he often avoids the marquee matchups on the defensive side of the ball, right? So tonight he's not gonna face any Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler's got to worry about Scotty Barnes on the outside / OG Anunoby, and it's often going to be Scotty Barnes lining up on him one-on-one. And then on top of that, if Jimmy switches and he ends up going on-ball defense, which he's one of the best in the league to do it right now, he's guarding Fred VanVleet, right? So the way that Toronto's offense is just, their switchability is one of, if not the best in the entire NBA because of how small that they play. And granted, that has a ton of downside when you end up facing a true five, like Joel Embiid, like a Nikola Jokic, and they'll out-rebound you, themselves on both sides of the glass. But when you end up playing a small team like Miami, who runs Bam Adebayo at the 5, and even Bam, you can be saying that, take it 10 years back, Bam Adebayo was a power forward, right? He just doesn't have that jump shot to be able to play a stretch 4 role, and he's very good defensively, and he can fill in at the 5 very nicely, and he's going to be a great center for years to come. But when you end up getting that matchup where it's Siakam against Bam and everybody matches up height-wise, man, the Toronto switchability on offense is absolutely huge, and Gary Trent's been the main beneficiary for that. So I do love going back to Gary Trent tonight.
I hitch my wag to certain guys until they hit that price point, right? I'm not, I don't think I'm at the point where I'm going to pay up for Gary Trent Jr., but if I'm going to get 46, 44, 42 for 5,000 to 6,000, I got to take it. I don't think his ownership level is going to be outrageous as well. So, so that's what I look at. And Jordan Poole, it's just time. So I know Keith checked and said it's hard to get on FanDuel. Yeah, listen, I don't know. You're going to have to do a lot of mix and match. And again, I don't set the lineups. I just give you who the cores are that I'm looking at. Now, there may be a lineup where I don't get all 4 of these guys in because I'm really going to be bottom tier 35, 3,000, a couple guys, and I don't really want to do that. But if you can get it in, that this for me is who I want to roll with tonight, because I think there's a lot of capabilities, a lot of expectations on those two. Jordan Poole's 5,500. He essentially could be an $8,000 value tonight because of against San Antonio. Are you kidding me? Like that's gonna. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored in that game. So, and Trent's been on a roll. So, Ghost, we're talking about cores, man. We're gonna do this on a fly like we always do with you. Who you looking at, man? Who's your core guys tonight?
So I have all 4 of those guys in my main lineup right now. So that's why I had a bit of talk, by the way. That's why I had a bit of a smirk on my face when you ended up putting that on the screen. But my core tonight is going to be double center of Nikola Jokic and Nick Claxton. And I will be rostering 2 Warriors tonight at the minimum. I do recommend maxing it at 3. But if you get to 4, look, I'm not going to argue against it. Just know that the majority of the field is going to be doing that, right? So if you're rostering 4 Warriors, so is the large majority of the field. You're pretty much down to 50% of your lineup. There's 8 guys on a lineup on DraftKings. You're down to 50% of your lineup to get different. It's a bit much for me, and especially against the Spurs. It's not like they're playing the Rockets. It's not like they're playing the Kings. It's what I mean. Like it's still the Spurs, and they still got to face DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson defense. It's far from ideal, right? So I will be rostering at least 2 Warriors tonight, if not 3 at the max. So the remainder 2 members of my core is going to be Gary Payton II and your boy Jordan Poole. I will be rostering Jordan Poole everywhere tonight.
I love it, man. I love it because I got a smirk on my face. I'm gonna tell you why. It's so funny. And again, just so everybody knows, obviously we're on the same team here on Win Daily. But the funny thing is, we do our homework early, and Ghost comes up with his score. I do mine. We don't talk about it until this show, and right away I'm already going for my FFVP. I have Gary Payton a second at 3,500, and I have Moses Moody at 3,000. Two Warriors again because everybody's out. So, these are very, very valuable guys. But Ghost makes a great point where if you're going to put four Warriors on a team, what was the other night we were doing a show and everybody was the Pelicans. Everybody had like
Right.
every
Yeah.
Pelican, right? It was insane.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's what you have to be careful of. So I would say, just like Ghost said, mix and match. Figure out I wouldn't put any more than three. I'm going at least two. I'll probably have Poole and Payton, or maybe I got to do Moody because he's only $3,000. But I think it's a really good play tonight against that team. It really is.
Yeah, and the thing for me with the Warriors too that we can kind of take advantage of also is beware of what I call the infamous green checkmark syndrome tonight. So when rostering the Warriors tonight, everybody's going to flock to the starting five, right? So we all know Kevon Looney's going to start. And most people likely won't roster Kevon Looney because they're going to go even cheaper than that. So someone like Moses Moody, if he doesn't start, people are going to switch to Damian Lee, to Toscano Anderson. They're just going to play whoever is starting. And that is where you can get different because there are plenty of minutes to be had. The Warriors only have 10 active players in this game. Everybody's going to play. So I will redirect you, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, to our projections at WinDailySports.com to be able to make sure that you end up grabbing the guys towards the top. And don't be scared of playing a Jonathan Kuminga if he's not starting. Don't be scared to play a Damian Lee or a Moses Moody or a Gary Payton II or any one of these guys that is not starting, right? And if anything, you want at least one Warrior coming off the bench because Jordan Poole will start. And if you're playing Jordan Poole tonight, you want him taking 25 shots. And if he's doing that, the guard that's playing alongside with him is likely not, right? So that's where we're going to have to be able to get different, not necessarily just with the number of Warriors that we're playing, but with which ones that we are.
It's a good point. And just so everybody knows, listen, Moses Moody played 25 minutes the other night and he didn't start. Right, so just because they're not starting doesn't mean they're going to play max minutes. I mean, they're going to get minutes, man. So it's a really good. It's funny. Ghost makes a great point because a lot of times people flock to those green check marks right away. You see it on DK. You get up there, boom. Oh, they're starting. Boom. I want that guy, but doesn't necessarily mean there's a lot of times the bench guys will outperform some of the starters. So you always have to remember that 100%. Adam says, yeah, this is for Ghost. Good call on Drummond double last night. He was absolutely huge last night, man. What do you have? 23 boards last night? My God.
I remember because we were checking the prop model and Adam goes, bro, why is Drummond 11.5 rebounds at plus money? And I said, it's already on the sheet. I already took that. And it actually hit at halftime. And then they took away because he ended the Grizzlies ended the half on a ridiculous shot attempt and Drummond grabbed the rebound. But they said that they gave him the rebound and he had 12. And I was like, hey, look at us, it already hit at halftime. And then they took it away because the clock had already expired. And I was like, if anything happens to him on the first play of the second half, I'm going to lose my mind. So I was like, let him just get that 12th rebound. But yeah, he was absolutely cleaning up on the glass last night and got inside. And it was just... We had the Andre Drummond sweep last night with the 3 props. It was over 10 points, over 11.5 rebounds, and Andre Drummond double. So
yeah, it was a really good Andre Drummond. Now, you called it from the beginning, so we're got to give props where props are due. Coming on Twitch says the Ace Gamer saying, do I go Paletti? Do I go Cole Anthony, Bobby Portis, Tyler Hero? In tears. That's an interesting one, man. I don't know, Ghost. I'm a Cole Anthony kind of guy, but I haven't even looked at the Miami situation. Obviously, I think Jimmy's playing tonight, right? So I don't think Tyler Hero gets as many minutes. I don't know. What do you think about this?
I'm just checking who I have projected for the highest. That's always what I end up going towards in tiers. And right now, that's going to be Bobby Portis. Poole and Cole Anthony are both 1 point right under Portis. So it's a mix and match kind of situation. Tyler Hero is only 2 points under. They're all very close. I do like the matchup for Bobby Portis and Cole Anthony the most, though.
Yeah, and that's what you go by, gamer. You got to go by when they're that close. Just I always say at the end of the day, if they're that close and the model's showing them that, just go with your gut, man. Go with your gut. Go look at the matchup, and then if that's still tied, then go with your gut at the end of the day. And usually my gut's usually right, but so that's the way I roll. So we got Daniel checking in, says Dimwitty, Payton, Kesper, ABC, Joker, Trent, Kuminga, Moody. Man, he's throwing a whole lineup out there. Again, Joker in there, Trent, I like it. I like Moody as the downplay. Payton's in there. That's 3 Warriors. And that's an interesting one because it's 3 Warriors with Kuminga, Moody, and Payton. I think that's a pretty good threesome. What do you think, Ghost?
Yeah, it is. And going Giannis and Joker tonight is certainly going to be different. I don't. Giannis is going to completely fly under the radar tonight. So if that's the route that you're taking, I just don't know if I would go with Corey Kispert tonight with the amount of value that we have. I don't really feel the need to dip into that Washington rotation. If anything, I like Denny Avdija, but if that's what makes it fixed, then do it. Ride it out.
Ivan says, what do you guys think of Noel, who's also under the 4,000 range with Payton the second and Moody? I'm still Payton the second and Moody, by the way. I'm all Golden State off tonight. I don't know. What do you think, Ghost?
Yeah, Noel grades out well for me, but again, it's with the Warriors completely took over the slate, right? So that would be a large field tournament pivot if you're going Noel, but it's very hard for me to get away from these Warriors right now. But Noel still grades out very well for me. He's pretty high up there in the model right now.
So I don't know what this means. So Theo says, I want the special sauce, Ghost, and you know what I mean, okay?
Yeah,
so this is another inside joke Jigsaw ain't getting yet. So you got to talk to me about this. What's the special sauce?
Basically, when I update the projections, it notifies the Discord channel and it says that I've added my secret sauce to projections, and then it shows on the site as well. So yeah, I'll get to it right as I'm off air. That's it's kind of tough for me to do it when I'm on camera there, but
hey,
yeah, I'll get to it right when we got off.
10-15 minutes, bro. We got
you.
10 minutes, and the special sauce
and
will be there for the taking.
That's why we started the show earlier now too, just so that way we have enough time to get everything done.
And again, at Win Daily Sports, make sure if you're new, you're tuning in, make sure you check it out. Make sure you get on the website, sign up, use the code word radio, RADIO. You get a week for free of everything we offer. But the biggest thing is just staying, and you're going to enjoy it. This guy right here is the guy who does all the numbers. So trust me. And every day he drops the Ghost Gems article, him and Adam. Adam does a Yahoo Fantasy Cash Play article as well. Those are premium articles you want to get your hands on because they will put money in your pocket. So, do you have you snuck in the FFVP last night? Do you have a FFVP tonight?
It's the same as yours. It's going to be Gary Payton the second. I'm a big GP2 guy, and
I love it.
With the return of Klay Thompson now, it complicates that Warriors backcourt, right? Because you have Damian Lee that can also end up contributing in a playoff run, and you got to think that while every NBA player wants to win a championship, they also want to be a contributor to that NBA championship, right? And Gary Payton II is kind of, I don't want to say fighting for minutes. He's always going to be relied upon in defensive matchups, and he's going to be crucial for them down the stretch. But this is a game where he can really prove that to them, right? And show some offensive flair as well. And to be able to get him at 3,500 with all of these guards out, there's going to be a ton of shots to be had. He rebounds really well also. It's a good matchup for GP2, so I really like Gary Payton II tonight.
This is gonna be
no Isaiah Jackson tonight, but the books were scared. Everybody was listening to the show last night, so I was begging on air for people to post Isaiah Jackson props, and nobody ended up posting any, and he went absolute bonkers. I would have taken every single over possible, but
I don't get it.
It's all good.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Yo, listen, everybody, because we're going to start the props for profit right now. Listen to this, okay? All you need to do it, and Ivan, or I think it might have been Ivan. Somebody checked us out. Drago checked us out on Twitter. Got on Twitter, and he was the only guy that gave us the prop. Remember, hashtag props for Profit. That's it. Go onto the thread that we posted the show on @Win Daily Sports on Twitter. Get on there. Let's get the thread because then we all win. We all listen. No problem putting your bets out there. Listen, if everybody won every single night, Vegas would be undefeated, right? And there would be no casinos. So at the end of the day, they understand we're going to lose sometimes too, but it's basically you got to research it, right? Get some good analysis, get to as close as plus money as you can, and give us those bets for props for profit. So we're going to get right into it right now. We're going to talk props for profit. Last night was almost a really good big props for profit. So again, we'll do the same thing. We're going to throw a couple up, 2 or 3 combined, and then we'll put one on Twitter during the trend. And again, hashtag props for profit. So Ghost, I'm going to go back to the well once again. Right, because it hit for me. Okay, and again, I think he finally got it. Now I dropped from plus 170.
I was about to say it's
yeah, I'm going again because third time was a charm. I got it right. So they dropped it from plus 170 to plus 125, but still plus money. And again, that game now with all the Warriors out, I think this could be a triple double DeJounte Murray kind of game. So I'm going over 1.5 threes plus 125. Again, a plus money bet. I think he got the momentum the other day, and I think he's going to continue to build on that. So I'm on the Murray wagon tonight. What you got, buddy?
Man, I'm actually adding 2. I'm adding 2. I was like, man, he's not going to be happy about this. I'm going to type on the fly, but I'm adding 2 of them. But which one are we bringing up first? Which one?
We'll go. There you go.
I like this one. Mo Bamba, A+ rebounds at plus 130 on FanDuel Sportsbook. This is a matchup against Chicago that most people end up flocking away from. The matchup is, on paper, not exactly ideal when you think of Nikola Vucevic, but in terms of rebounding, Mo Bamba absolutely owns him, right? So he's nearly hit this in every single matchup, and including last matchup, he had 4 rebounds in 6 minutes before going down with an injury. So he's absolutely eaten Chicago up on the glass. Thin rotation for the Magic. A+ rebounds at plus money for me is going to be just way too valuable of a spot. Mo Bamba, A+.
Mo Bamba. I love it. Mark says, you guys do FanDuel. We do all the books. I could tell you me specifically the numbers that I'm throwing up there for my props. I'll tell you are usually always a default is DraftKings. I know Ghost uses both, but we use all the books, whether it be MGM, whether it be Bet Rivers. I mean, listen, shop around, get your best number. And again, with this show sponsored by the Sharp app. So go download the Sharp app for free. That's your one-stop betting tool, one-stop shop. So it'll give you all the numbers for all the books all in one place so you can get your best. So Daniel checking in with a little props for profit going over 29.5 for Kyrie at plus 200. He's going 30-point night for Kyrie. That's
plus
interesting.
Plus 220 on FanDuel.
Look at that. See? So
that's why you got to shop. Always shop. 30 plus for Kyrie is plus 220 on FanDuel.
That's a nice number. I like that. I do. I do like that, Daniel. I think you got some steam right there because it's going to be a Kyrie kind of night. Now, I'm going to stick to wait, where am I at here? I got all these all over the place. I have wait a minute. That was last night's. Hold on, let me make sure.
That's my bag because I gave them to you way too late.
I got a double bet. I got a double bet, so I'm going to go back to Ghost because I got a double bet. So we're going to go Ghost, who gave Gary Payton a second, 23.5 PRA plus 105.
We were talking about Gary Payton for so long. You had to know that this one was coming. So the rebounding, like the reason why, instead of me talking more about Gary Payton, because we talked enough about Gary Payton at this point, but the main reason why I went points, rebounds, and assists rather than a points prop, or rebounds prop, or an assist prop is just because his game is that well-rounded, right? So when Jordan Poole comes off the court, he's going to be able to become that facilitator as well. Moses Moody is not really that guy yet at this stage in his career. Kuminga is going to be playing down on the block against Keldon Johnson. They don't really have, that ball handler outside of Jordan Poole right now, right? So that's where Gary Payton II comes in. The assists are going to be there. He rebounds really well, and he's going to be able to score as well as that 2 guard while sharing the court with Jordan Poole. So for me, it's going to be more of a rounded game from Gary Payton II tonight. 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists at plus 105.
And last night, this guy was telling everybody to fade, which he was correct. And tonight, He's on the Duncan Robinson wagon again. What's up with this?
I am. So this is gonna be I'll take the small victory lap in this one here, but everybody was all over Duncan Robinson yesterday. Everywhere I looked was Duncan Robinson props and Duncan Robinson overs and Duncan Robinson DFS and there's one thing that the analytics won't tell you when you only get from watching the game. He does not play the same that he does when Jimmy Butler is not in that lineup, because you put him on the court with Tyler Hero, it does not work. Tyler Hero is looking for a shot on his own. Caleb Martin looks for a shot on his own. Bam Adebayo gets fed the ball on the block, and he's not kicking it out to Duncan Robinson. That's not his game. Duncan Robinson needs somebody to be able to facilitate, and tonight we get Jimmy Butler back in that lineup. 4+ threes for Duncan Robinson. He's going to be looking for him early and often. And if you look, he's pretty much shooting. He's almost averaging 5 threes a game in the first quarter. It's been absolutely ridiculous. And that's just exactly what I just talked about. Jimmy Butler looks for him early and often, and they need to get him going. And this one, you're going to know exactly how it ends extremely early in the game, because if he starts out 0 for 5, 0 for 6, 0 for 7, he's riding the bench. Tyler Hero comes in and they're running a 6-man rotation. So this one, it's going to be a very early cash or a very early, quick laughter. Let's go grab a drink. That's what it is. But I'm actually going to combine this one. 4+ threes. Anybody that's listening / watching out there, you can end up doing the quick math. Duncan Robinson's points prop is 11.5, and that is also plus money at plus 110. So I will be taking both of those, because if there's ever a way for Duncan Robinson to score 12 or more points in a game, it's because he hit 4 or more threes. And that's where Tony and I consistently look for the value rather than just taking the over 11.5. That's 4 threes. Plus 170 is way too outrageous of a number. I'm taking both of these on Duncan Robinson tonight with the return of Jimmy Butler.
I love the combo bet. I love it. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go back to the Spurs here. And this is my last bet. This is the Keldon Johnson over 15.5 points. He's averaging 20 plus over the last 2 games. And I'm going to go with the double for plus 850. Now, here's my logic. Again, a lot of guys out for the Golden State Warriors. A lot of men's going to be logged tonight for Keldon Johnson. And his last 2 games, he's got 8+ boards. So he's only 2 rebounds away from a double-double. Tonight, I'm telling you right now, Keldon Johnson, I see an 18 and 11 kind of night in the future. That's a double-double for plus 850. And then if you combo bet, come on, man, it's a no-brainer to me. So this is my Mitchell Robinson bet for tonight. Keldon Johnson double-double plus 850. Cash it in right now. Ghost, you got one more before we get out of here?
I do. I'm going to our boy Gary Trent Jr. 20+ points is sitting at plus 114 right now.
Really?
I'm going to grab that. I was literally grabbing it. I was grabbing it while we were on the show because it just doesn't make sense.
What is it? Plus
114.
Yeah, that should not be a plus money bet. Not the way Gary Trent Jr. has been playing.
20+. So his points prop is at 18.5 right now, and it's sitting at the lowest I see it is minus 107. It's pretty much minus 110 everywhere at 18.5. If you just go 20+, one more bucket, getting it at plus 114. So I'm going Gary Trent Jr. 20. I'm going Gary Trent Jr. 20+ 114.
I love it. I love it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we're 33 minutes and we're going to get out of here because we're kicking ass. We're 8 minutes under what we were yesterday. Okay. We're trying to get this to 30 minutes. And what's up, Prince? Getting in. Daniel says I took Trent for 25 plus.
I like it.
I like that. Prince, my man, checking in as always. But we're going to get out of here because I got a live show to do. Heat Ratio Sports. Heat Ratio live tonight, 7 o'clock in Bucks County. So check us out at Heat Ratio Sports. But as always, Tony Cotillo, got my man Ghost at I always get this confused. What is it? It's at DFS at Nikki DFS. Is that what the
DFS underscore Ghost?
There you go.
The underscore that messed me up. I've been messaging the person that has DFS Ghost as their Twitter account forever. The last time they tweeted was 2013.
Oh.
So I was like, hey, like, do you want to give up the do you want to give up the handle, like asking for a friend? It'd be kind of nice, but That's what it
Well,
is.
if he hasn't tweeted since 2000, he probably
Yeah.
checked those damn DMs either. So I can guarantee you that.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? So he's
Yeah.
probably got more important things on our brain. But as always, at Win Daily Sports, where you find us, check us out on Twitter. Don't forget Props4Profit, hashtag Props4Profit. Get them up there. Everybody, again, I will not be in tomorrow. Ghost and Adam will be taking over for me for one night. They're giving me a special night off, which I greatly appreciate. Make sure you get a big slate tomorrow night. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you again next time.